Hey there, how's it going? So, this is stream number 39, and I have a link to my OneNote notebook below where you can see logs from all my streams. I've been building a web server from scratch, basically, in C++, and on top of the web server I have this chat room that I'm working on, and I want to kind of make this chat room available to my viewers to play with, but I was kind of reluctant to just let anyone come in, say anything, pick any kind of nickname. So I had this idea today. I want to see what people think. And that is that I would redesign the chat room to be a math contest. So instead of letting users pick whatever nickname they want, instead I'll have a pool of nicknames that users can pick from. I'm going to remove passwords and just have the nickname that you pick go back to the pool when the WebSocket's closed. And chats will be just numbers, so you'll be basically typing the answer to a math question. So every once in a while the chat room's going to post a math question. First user to answer correctly gets a point. Until then, incorrect answers penalize you a point. And just to prevent spamming, we'll have a restriction against spamming by letting your tells only go through as long as they're under a certain frequency. So once I have this ready to go, I'd like to put it on the internet. I've been researching AWS, and I think I'm maybe like a day or two away from getting this running there. So maybe the next stream or the next stream after, like Tuesday or Wednesday, if you check out my channel, you'll be able to go and play around with that chat room and be talking to my web server and other users who are connected to the same thing. And it's just going to be for fun. There's no stream rewards or permanent rewards. It's just for bragging rights. The points that you earn will just disappear as soon as you disconnect, unless we come up with some other ideas on how to persist them and such. Actually, one idea I had on top of this idea of a math contest is when I eventually, according to my long-term roadmap, make a Twitch bot, I could kind of integrate this contest idea in with the bot and have it hosted in Twitch in my chat. Then I can kind of get rid of the restrictions, right? And maybe the bot would just react only to numbers. Otherwise, it would just kind of be silent. So anyway, we're on our progress towards that goal, I guess. So a couple announcements. I have a new section of my notebook called Research, so you can check it out. At the top, I have this list of topics that I want to research, either in order to progress further in my stream or just because it's interesting to me. And as I go through each topic, I'll check it off the list and make another page. So you can see I've already hit 5 different topics. I'm working on number 6. So if you want to see all the details that I came up with and all the notes I took while researching, you'll find them under each of these pages. So right now I'm in the midst of looking up transport layer security. I'm evaluating different libraries because I'm not really prepared to implement transport layer security myself, and especially not the crypto stuff. So I'm actually narrowing it down to LibreSSL because it has support for CMake. And although it doesn't build from source directly because of some extra requirements on your environment, I was able to take the release distro and build straight from that on both Windows, Linux, and Mac. I guess instead of both, I should say Windows, Linux, and Mac combined. Or no, that's not even right either. I was able to build successfully on all the platforms I care about, which are Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. So the last thing I have to do in this research is to figure out how to integrate the building of LibreSSL with the rest of my project, and then I need to learn the API. So anyway, if you're interested in any of these research topics, feel free to come back and check out my notes once I get to it, and then you'll see sort of what I was able to learn. And of course, if you have any comments, you can post them in chat. Let's see. Yeah, so the other thing is because I have a dynamic mic, when I like turn my head, the volume goes way down. I'm trying out a compressor filter in OBS, so I don't know if I have the settings quite right. So if I turn my head, you should still be able to hear me, maybe a little bit lower, but maybe a lot better than before, where I think it would go a lot lower. But hopefully it doesn't pick up weird background sounds. If it does, maybe I'll reconsider or adjust. So yeah, feel free to let me know if something doesn't sound right. I can just quickly turn that filter off if it starts to misbehave. Alright. So, on to the math contest. We're going to be redesigning the chat room. So most of my time today is going to be in the test framework for the chat room. I'm going to be basically tossing most of the tests I have already and replacing them with new tests to capture the new requirements. So let's open Visual Studio. Oh, by the way, the work I did on Friday resulted in breaking something in one of my other components. So I kind of wanted to work on the chat room today, but I do need to get back to this. So probably maybe next stream or the one after that, I'll go and fix this stuff up. I need to fix this bug here before I post the program on AWS anyway, so... But hopefully it's not that much work. I might actually do it off stream if it's a really quick and easy fix. Okay, so let's clean up our workspace here. And then we'll go to the chat room plugin tests. So let me begin by reducing that to the outline. So we can keep some of these tests, like load and connect, I think is probably fine. That just verifies we can load the chat room and connect it into the server. Setting nickname, though, is different. I think a lot of these are going to be different. Join and leave might be okay. We're going to be removing passwords, though. We'll probably end up just repurposing, or I mean rewriting join and leave. We'll keep this test, set nickname and trailer, but we need to adjust it. I think we'll keep this test like that. Yeah, so maybe we'll go from the top here. Load and connect is good, right? Set nickname, I think we need to change this one right away. Actually, I'm going to insert a test before this, because before you can set a nickname, you need to kind of get what nicknames are available to be used. Get available nicknames, right? Because I don't want you to be able to type in whatever you want, because you might type in a naughty word. Instead, we'll have a set or a pool of pre-cleared nicknames you can pick from. And we're not going to have the concept of password. So the first thing that the client will do in the new design here is ask the server what nicknames are available. And it'll expect to get back some kind... Hold on. Yeah, some kind of list. So type available nicknames. And it'll be some kind of list, right? Now what to put in that list? I guess what we want to do in the fixture for this test is to set the nicknames that can be used. So right here when we load the plugin, probably we'll build it into the config, right? That sounds good to me. So nicknames. And maybe we should make it a part of the frame of the fixture so that we don't have to repeat ourselves. So I can collapse this for now. We can put it somewhere here. I don't know, maybe put it at the end, since I don't really have a favorite place. It's JSON. Nicknames. This is the pool of nicknames. The chat room allows users to pick from which. So we're going to set this up here. So what are some Twitch nicknames? Pepe, Dan. I don't know. Maybe I need to expand my list of nicknames. Boba Fett. I probably misspelled Boba Fett because I'm not a Star Wars geek, really. Han Solo. Darth Vader. Maybe that's good for now. Oh, we need to add our ubiquitous Alice, Bob, and Carol. If you don't know, these names like appear in a lot of examples in voice over IP stuff. I believe it's because it's A, B, and C. Someone just picked them and they just get reused a lot. Okay, so those are going to be the nicknames the server should respond with. Nick. Actually, I want to give this one a better name. What to call it? Available nicknames? Okay. This is going to be a shorter test, so I'm only going to have one response. And cut out the rest of this test. Okay. So, when we set a nickname, we'll still keep it sec nickname. But there's no password. And let's have them try to set a nickname that isn't in our list. And then one that is. Bob, right? Bob's in our list. So the first response, I guess we'll make, well, it'll be the set nickname result, right? Actually, we're going to have 3 of them. Because the first one will be a success false. Then we'll have an announcement that Bob has joined. And then a true. These are 2 and 3 there. We'll keep that diagnostic message. Okay, we'll keep this part of the test. I think I also want to have someone try to also join us, Bob. No, I already have a test for that, right? I think that's this one. Yeah, okay, so we'll simplify this because there's no more passwords. So the first client will use Bob. Second client will try to also grab Bob, and it will fail. I think that's all we need to do at that point. Because we're not going to have this concept of multiple connections from the same user or passwords and all that stuff. So set nickname for first client. Set nickname for second client, trying to grab the same nickname as the first client, and it should fail. Okay, so those tests are complete. Let me collapse them. These are all completed tests. Room cleared after unload. Yes, so have Bob join the chat room. No password needed. Okay, reload the chat room. Verify the nickname list is empty. And we should also verify that the available list is full. And we should distinguish between available and taken or assigned. Full. And what did I call that? Get available nicknames? Yeah. And then I'm already forgetting the... Yeah, it's available nicknames. Lost my place. Where was I? Here, I think. So, it's available nicknames. Okay, so that test should be done. Tell from non-lurker. Right. So no password. Bob joins. Yes. Okay. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do at this point? All this asserts and expects are kind of unnecessary. I'm gonna remove all of them. Oh yeah, and if you haven't seen it before, that's my overlay that I put up when I have to mute the mic. If someone asks me something, or comes home, or leaves. See, that'll be when I'm having to mute my mic. So I was saying, I don't need to check these. No reason to check them, because other tests already checks them. Okay, we don't need a password for Alice. And we don't need to check these things. Okay, we are going to check the member list here. Alice and Bob should show up in the list. Alice says something. But here I think we should be careful and restrict it to just numbers. Because that's part of our design right now. They can only say numbers. Okay, there's the number. Bob says something, but it's empty. Actually, we'll have two things here. Bob says something, but it's not a number. Hey, guys. Right. So that's testing a tell from a non-worker. Lurker. Okay, join. Why do we have a test for join? I think this is captured by the other tests anyway. We'll keep it in there. I think this is catching some bug I had before about this part. Maybe the person joining wasn't seeing a join for themselves. Okay, so Bob expects to see a Bob. Actually, this is part of the setup, right? So I don't really need to do this expectation checking. Okay. Yeah. But they both see Alice join, but only Alice sees a set nickname result true. Okay, so that's good. Leave. Bob joins the room. Removing the password. And remove this stuff. Actually, I'll just take the opportunity to copy this part here. Okay. We had someone leave to go to the swimming pool. Alright. Bob joins the room. Alice joins the room. So we can kind of repeat this, only it's Alice for the nickname. Reuse message. And we don't need to check these. What we really care about is Alice leaving the room. Alice is going to leave the room by disconnecting her WebSocket. Right. So we'll get diagnostic messages saying that the WebSocket was closed. Then Bob will actually see two messages. They'll see a leave first, and then when they ask for the nicknames, they'll just see themselves and not Alice. Let me, again, take the opportunity here to use JSON object rather than this old set stuff. And the same thing with the expected response. Type leave, nickname is Alice. And then just Bob in the nickname list. Actually, we don't even need to do these pushbacks, do we? I can be a little bit more clever here. And I can say this. And then fill in these. This one here. And then the next one. There we go. So I think that's a lot more readable. We asked for the nickname list, and we see this actually would have been received way before here. But that'll be in the queue, and then the nicknames result of the get nicknames. Okay, so that test is done. Set nickname in trailer. Okay, well, this is a special test. We'll just update it to have no password. And let's simplify this message setup here. Right, we had to do this raw encoding of the message because we're attaching it to our initial request to get. That's why we're doing a lot of this stuff. What do you say? By hand? The idea with this test is it's taking the HTTP request to connect with a WebSocket and appending the first message to it to make sure that the chat room handles the first message correctly. It being a trailer right after the upgrade. So, yeah. I am going to update the construction of the response here. Oh, and I can do the same thing I did before. I can actually build it in here. Success is true. Okay. Building another request. Getting the list of nicknames. And let's see, this goes away. And there we go. Oh, I can build that in there again. Cool. So I think that's ready. Close that guy. Connection not upgraded. That one we don't need to change. Change nickname to connection non-lurker to non-lurker not already in room. Okay, so let's run through this. Set nickname to Bob initially in 2 separate connections. Okay, this... I don't think this test applies anymore. Because we don't allow this anyway. Yeah, so this test is deleted. No longer applicable. Change nickname in single connection non-lurker to non-lurker not already in room. Set nickname to Bob initially on 1 connection. Okay. So no password. Oh, let's again. Not that one. This one. Trying to use the new format for making a JSON object. I think it's a little bit easier to read. And the same thing. Change the nickname to Bobby. Actually, we can't use Bobby. It's not on our list, right? Pepe is though. Okay. Right, so I can build in the expected response. Oh, wait a minute, no. Need to construct them separately because we're testing on 2 different connections. So auto expected response 1 is we'll see Bob leave. And then Pepe join. That's a 2, that's a 3, and a set nickname success for 3. So, formerly known as Bob, now Pepe sees all 3 messages, and the other connections only see the first 2, the leave and then the join. And then this becomes this. Verify, it really did change. Okay. We do it with the tell, and we can't use a... Actually, I just thought of something. I just thought of putting a number here, but maybe we should keep it as a string. Yeah, let's keep it as a string, even though the string has to be parsable as a number. Keeping it as a string because then if I lift the restriction on numbers only later, I don't have to change the API. Okay, expected response is only used once, so I can just put it there. We expect sender Bobby, or not sender Bobby, but sender Pepe, right? And then get rid of all that. Okay. I think I also want to add one more thing. Verify available nicknames. Verify Bobby is now an available nickname, but Pepe isn't. So that is sent. As a get available nicknames. Okay, so here we're going to need to modify. We're going to take available nicknames. I know we'll pull them all into a set. Remove Bob, add Pepe, put it back into a JSON. So let's see how we do that. Standard set. Do I have set? I do not. Actually, let's not, because set's gonna do some sorting, which I don't want to have to worry about if it's gonna be sorted correctly. Let's just... I'm looking, where did I put the construction? Here it is, the available nicknames. Actually, I can just remove... Yeah, I can just find Bob and remove him, right? So, auto nicknames. We'll start with available nicknames. This does a deep copy. Correct, Visual Studio? Okay, it's not telling me. Do I have a I do have a remove. Oh, but the remove is only for JSON objects. I don't have a way to remove from a JSON array. We should add that though. Okay, let's just make a new one. JSON array. Okay, that's right. I have to just use the normal constructor type array. So we'll do this for const auto nickname. Oh, I don't have the iterator pattern, but I have get size, so let's just use that for now. Available nicknames get size. If available nicknames I is not equal to Bob, then add it. That's for an array, right? Okay. So then I can just say that the available nicknames that we get back matches the original available nicknames without Bob in it. Oh, without Pepe in it. Okay. That test is done, but let's see. I'm gonna take like a 1 minute break. I will be right back. Won't even be 5 minutes. We'll be like more of a 1 minute. See, that was only a minute, right? Okay. This test was... Okay, we haven't done this one yet. Fold two connections. Yeah, this test doesn't apply anymore because this assumes we can connect with the same nickname on two connections, right? Yeah, so this nickname goes away. I mean, this test goes away. Change nickname non-lurker to non-lurker already in room. Let's keep this test. No, we can't because it assumes Bob was on two connections. Let's remove it. Two connections, non-lurker to lurker. And also this goes. Anything that assumes we can have it on same nickname on two connections needs to go. Non-lurker to lurker. Okay. That's fine. We'll keep this one. Okay. Change nickname to empty string. Become a lurker. Great. Okay. So the first response is it should be allowed. Second response is a leave of Bob. Bob leaves. And everyone else that's in the room only sees the leave. And we see the nickname change. Okay, so that we keep this thing. We should also verify that if someone gets the available nicknames, we see that Bob's available now. That's easy to do. We'll have one of the remaining connections, like 1 or something. It should just return the original available nicknames list. We don't have to do this weird thing here. Okay, change nickname, non-lurker, not changed. Okay, it's one of those that has 2 connections, so it goes. Change nickname lurker to lurker. Okay. This should be a no op, actually. No operation. I forgot to collapse these tests after I was done. Okay, here we go. Message. No nickname. Let's build that in here. Set nickname result. Success true. No messages sent to anyone else. Okay. Collapse that. Or I probably will need that. Let's collapse that though. Yeah, okay, so if a lurker tries to say anything, even a legitimate message like 42, it should not send it to anyone. You have to pick a nickname to send something. Okay, so that's gone through all of our tests. It doesn't capture all the new requirements, but it captures the change in existing requirements, really. So let's build that, and we will fix these tests, and that will at least clear the way for adding the new features. Okay, yeah, I probably have a few of these where I redefine message. I'm reusing an object, not wanting to redefine it, but just reuse it. Okay. Go to our tests here. Web server, chatroom plugin, test, debug, chatroom plugin, test, right? No. I think it got moved. Yeah, I consolidated the chatroom plugin and its tests into the same folder. So, 7 things are failing. Right, get available nicknames, of course it doesn't work because we don't have that command yet. I guess we should do that first. So, in our chat room, we need to have the available nicknames list. I think I will use a set internally. Okay, we already have set included. And it's going to be something that the room has. The room already has users, so we will now add the available nicknames. Okay, these are the nicknames that are currently unallocated but ready for assignment to users. All right. So what's the minimal thing we need to do is when someone asks for the list, we should return it. So that would be here. Get available nicknames. We'll just make a function for it, just like the tell function. We can just take that and kind of clone it and then rename the clone. Get available nicknames. Okay. So everyone should be able to get the available nicknames, even lurkers. Right. We just return the nicknames. Although we need to convert from the set into a JSON object. Actually, you know what? I kind of prefer to do auto, and then have that equal to a JSON array. I just need to give it an empty initializer list. Can I do that? No, I can't because it's not a constructor, it's a method. Oh, but empty initializer list, right? So we'll say for const auto nickname. I go back and forth whether or not the second N should be capitalized. Available nicknames. As JSON add the nickname. Just like that. So because set is going to sort them, I need to make sure that in my test framework here that this is sorted. It's not, so let's sort them. H console 4p. Dar R goes after N. I think that's right. We'll find out. Okay, so we've connected the get available nicknames up. Let's see if our test... Okay, get available nicknames is still failing. Huh. Oh, I guess I didn't... Oh, yeah. I have a problem here. It's also an empty array. Oh, because, yeah, we haven't connected it up to our configuration. That is somewhere here, right? Yes. Prepare available get. Really, we're getting them. Get available nicknames from configuration. It's going to be room dot available nicknames equals configuration. Actually, it's going to be JSON, right? So auto, and then what did I call it? Nicknames. Okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll say if its type, get type equals JSON type array, then we can build this set. I'm going to make a note for this. I want to add iterator, the iterator protocol to the JSON array. Actually, to both. For arrays and objects. So I want to be able to say for each. So from 0 to, right now I have to say from 0 to get size plus plus I, right? This should be JSON. Room.available nicknames.insert available nicknames JSON I. Insert returns something that I don't care for. Don't need it, so I cast it to void. That's just my way of explicitly saying to anyone who's reading the code that insert does return something, but I don't care about what it returns. In this case, insert is returning an iterator to the inserted item in the set if we needed the iterator. Okay. Do we need to clear it? I think we do, so when we unload the chat room, we will clear it. Okay, get available nickname still failing. Oh, I had a typo. I guess it was in the tests. No? So what is it then? Oh, the type isn't right. Yeah, here it is. It's not getting it's saying here are the available nicknames. Okay, there we go. Now we're down to 5 tests not working. So let's see what we're doing in the tests on line 415. 415. Okay, we're expecting... Oh, that we can't set feels bad man as the nickname, right? So right now it's allowing it. It's saying feels bad man join, so that's just restricting set nickname. It has to pick from the existing ones. Set nickname here. It's got kind of a complicated set of logic. I think we can simplify this now. Since we don't need these elsewhere in room things, because that's not allowed anymore. And we don't need this accounts anymore, actually. Let's just remove that. That should simplify things a bit. So we'll remove accounts. Remove account, which gets rid of password, which I need to do anyway. And then what does that change in the code? So all this stuff goes. So this is just always true. So it just becomes an else. We don't need this anymore. And this goes away. Okay. And the accounts goes away. Alright, so we still need to make sure that they can pick the nickname, that it's available. So let's do that. My son is in and out of the house. He's going back out again. Okay. If... Right, it's... Okay. This is if they become a lurker, do that. Otherwise, they're not becoming not a lurker. So it's when they're becoming not a lurker, we need to check if... Okay, we don't need this elsewhere and already anymore, though. We don't need this. So this gets simplified a bit. Actually, what happens if they set their nickname to what they already have set? I guess you'll see a leave and then a join right away, won't you? Yeah, net zero effect. I think I'll allow it. So we send the leave. And then we send a join always, don't we? Okay, there is a check. If they're... We don't want to... Right, I didn't want to print a diagnostic message if it didn't really change. Right, so I think what I want to do here is do a check. If... Or, hold on. So it's... const auto... Actually, we're going to reuse this, so... Or we're going to use it to mutate the set, so we'll make it auto. Available nickname entry equals available nicknames dot find new nickname. I already don't like that. I am not consistent in the capitalization. I want to look this up. So, is nickname one word? Or two words? Nickname one word or two? It's complicated. Well, I see it showing up as a single word. Maybe I'll go with it being a single word. Okay. Let me make a note of that to clean it up. From now on, when I type new names, it'll be just one word. Okay, so refactor to... This is chat room. Just making a note to go back and do that. So, for new names, I will stick to the new convention. Basically, if it's not found, we can go ahead and take it. I mean, sorry, it's the other way around. If it's not found, then it's not available, and we can't take it. If it is available, then we take it. Actually, this means if you try to change your nickname to your... Yeah, so... Let's just actually put it all in front here. Actually, let's make a special case for if they change their nickname to one they already have, we'll just tell them it succeeded. So it's just this, right? It is a defaults to not having a success. Okay, so it's just always successful with no, it's really a no-op if they didn't change it. If they do change it, they need to change it to something that is available. If it's not available, then they get a false for the change. Otherwise, we got to do two things, right? We got to remove the new nickname and add the old one back. This is where I want to reuse that iterator, because I can just say this.erase available nickname entry. And then basically it avoids having to find it again. And then we do have to add the old nickname if it's not empty. If not old nickname empty, then insert the old nickname. Don't need the iterator it returns though. So I can combine these two ifs together. So if they had a nickname before, it's available now, and we tell everyone that they left. Okay, I think this will be good. Okay, down to 3 tests not working. Tell from non-lurker. Okay, this looks to me like I just didn't clear the messages received before I did the act that we're testing. 603. Yeah, okay, so I cleared... Really, it should make it part of this part. We clear our expected... We clear the messages we've received, and so this is the thing causing the messages we expect. We need to do this, otherwise we see extra messages from before. Alright, still failing. 622. Ah, yeah. So right now Bob is allowed to send a tell that's not a number. So let's build that in, that precaution in. So we have in string extensions now a nice function that'll parse a string as a number. So let's use that in tell. So here we go. It's called system abstractions parse, no, to integer, I think? Yeah, to integer, and then the string, which is tell, and then a place to store it, tell as number. And then I think we don't really we don't really care what the number is right now. We just need to make sure it's a number. So basically, if that doesn't return the success result. Okay, what was it? Result? Success. Then I think we just ignore it. That's probably it. Let's see. Yep, so now down to 2 failing tests. Okay, yeah. So we expect unavailable nicknames to be Alice, Bob, etc., etc. Oh, actually this looks like there's an old message in there. So 921. 921. Yeah, I cleared the wrong one, didn't I? And that actually that should be a 1 now too. These just need to all be consistent is all. Okay, so 1 test failing. So line 956. So becoming a lurker isn't working. So what are we seeing? We expect Bob to leave. Set nickname true. We don't see the leave. We're not seeing the leave for Bob. So let me look at, that would be in set nickname, right? If they become a lurker. Ah, so it's probably this elsewhere in room stuff going on. We need to get rid of that. We're not checking that. Yeah, that's probably what it is, so that should fix it. Nope. Still not getting the leave. Should have gotten it here. Okay, let's single step through that and see what's going on. Set as a starter project, and I will put a breakpoint there and hit go in the debugger. Okay, now we'll set a breakpoint and set nickname and hit go again. And see the new nickname. Okay, it's changing Bob to Bob. Did I mess up the unit test? I did mess it up. Look at that. Okay, that's probably it. So that should be empty string. Okay, so I noticed that there was a pause there. Oh, a wait timed out. 1005. So let's clear the breakpoints. Oh, my breakpoints window was missing because I had to reinstall Visual Studio, and breakpoints is not a default window, default visible window. All right, so 1005 in our tests is failing. Actually, I think it's this that's failing now. Okay, that's not failing per se, is it? It's just taking a second, which it shouldn't. Okay, so yeah, Bob, it's not detecting that Bob is actually disconnecting, is he? That might be related to my changes to network connection, but let's see. So, go to test. Okay, so when that happens, the chat room should get a leave. Or is it called remove user or something like that? Yeah, this remove user should be called by this close delegate. So let's see if maybe that's not happening. So let's put another breakpoint here to see which one hits first. Okay, it does hit that. So it's the lurker that's leaving, not Bob? Really? Oh. Lurker formerly known as Bob, yes. Okay, good. So they're in there. This should tell our end of the WebSocket to do its end of the close. Okay, I don't get it. Where does it remove them from the room? Oh, its users have closed, yes. So it's we handled this in our worker thread. So here we go, in our worker thread. Closed users, so it collects them together. Right. Now what does our unit test expect again? Oh, I see. It's expecting Bob to become available. I think that's what we haven't done yet. If they leave by disconnecting, we don't put their nickname back into the available set again. I'm kind of concerned about the fact that it still takes a second. It says so right here. It takes a second, which means that our wait is timing out. This wait is timing out, which shouldn't... this should not be timing out. So goes a second. So what's going on here? Okay, the WebSocket is closed. Oh, I see. The second element of the messages received is still empty. It hasn't received any messages. But yeah, we're not going to get a message. Why am I even waiting for that? I think that's just a broken test. This is saying we want to wait until the other end of the WebSocket is closed and we get a message from the guy who hasn't left yet. But we're expecting that is empty, so I think that's just bogus. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. No, if we get a message, we want to fail that, right? Okay, yeah, I think this timeout was in here on purpose, just in case a message is generated. So let me make that part of the comment here. Note that we expect to time out here because we need to make sure a message is not received by the second client. But if a message is received, it's done in a separate thread, which we may end up racing if we don't wait. It's hard to wait for something that never happens, and stop waiting when it doesn't, right? You can only wait for something to happen. If you wait for something not to happen, you're always expecting a timeout. Okay, so but the real problem in that test was this code here. It sends the leave, but and this code needs to be gone too. It sends the leave, but it doesn't put the nickname back into the pool of available nicknames. So we don't need to do this junk anymore. They always leave. And we put their nickname back into the free pool. So that's available nicknames dot insert nickname. And then we don't need the iterator that insert returns there. Okay. I didn't know that. In ConEMU, if you put a cursor there and you start doing your arrows, it actually moves the cursor around. That's pretty cool. Okay, so still failing. Back on line 988 we're failing. Did I get that right? 988, okay. Oh, we are getting a message. Hold on. Let's make that inexpect so that I can actually see the next part. Okay, yeah, we don't want to see a leave if it's a lurker. So yeah, this leave is only if not nicknamed empty. Oh, also, we don't want to make the lurker's name available either. Okay. Yeah, this we still do. Because the reason for this jazz right here about putting the entry into a special vector up here and then clearing it down here is we need to clear it while we're not holding the mutex, because when we just remove user entries, it could cause a reentrant call into the chat room, and that can I should have written this down when I was writing this first, but there are a couple of mutexes and we have to always get them in the correct order. In the case of this worker thread, we're getting the mutex of the chat room first, and things like removing users or sending a text message to a user can get a mutex in the WebSocket. But for the rest of the chat room code, we're assuming the WebSocket's mutex is always locked first and then the chat room. So this would do a mutex inversion, which would cause a deadlock. So we always, when we do something that might lock a WebSocket, we first release our own lock, do the thing, and then get it back again. So the whole reason for this close users is we don't want to use the main user map because that's protected by the mutex. So we move them off to a close users or users copy in this case here, so that we're not accessing something that should be protected by the mutex. We're accessing like a local copy of the list. Yeah, and the reason, actually, another reason to have this closed users, have it cleared here, I think is because... Actually, I don't remember why. Can't remember. Do we still need to do this? I think it had to do with the fact that when we get the user entry and we erase it back out. Now hold on. Now I'm wondering, why did I have this special closed users? Why didn't I just... Oh, I know why. Because you can't erase it from users while holding the lock. So I moved it out first. Then I can erase it. And then I just figured, well, I'll just dump the list once at the end. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I don't know if I explained that very well, but no one's complaining, so I'm gonna keep going. All right. Oh, Bob is still not showing up as available again. But this is a slightly different test, right? Ah, yeah. When they left, it should have been returned. I guess I forgot. I guess that's not working. It's not putting Bob back in the list when they leave, or when they become a lurker. So it's adding it back if they disconnect. It's supposed to add it back here. Ah, we're not doing that. Actually, look at that. We can combine these two. Yeah, so I need to put the name back into the available list. If they weren't a lurker before, we free up their name. Cool. All right. So we're not quite done, but the tests are working again, so I'm tempted to check that in. Just to show that we have changed the existing requirements, and we haven't yet added the new requirements. Okay, just the web servers. Yeah, that's right. This chat room's part of our web server. So chat room, change existing requirements. So the changes are no password used to reserve nickname. Nickname must be in the pool of available nicknames. Pool of available nicknames is set in the configuration. Tells must be integers. Actually, I wanted to do math questions. I guess we'll keep our math questions to integers to begin with. It's probably a good idea. Okay, and what are the things that we changed? Oh yeah. Two connections cannot use the same nickname. And then we sort of added a requirement. Change existing requirements. I guess we'll just say add get available nicknames for use later in populating populating the drop down list given to the user from which they can choose a nickname. Okay. Yeah, so it's first come, first serve to the nicknames. Alright, commit that. Oh, I should have said earlier, this stream is going to be a little shorter because I don't know if this is fortunate or unfortunate, but I happen to be a World of Warcraft player and they're launching next expansion at 3 o'clock, and so for me 3 o'clock. So I need to end the stream by about 2:30, so another hour and 15 minutes. Okay, so how many of our new math contests have we implemented? We've done this one. We've done this one. And this one. We have not done these. So we've done 3 out of 7. So have the chat room post math questions at random times. So we're going to have some state, right? We're going to have the current answer we want to hear. We want to know whether or not it's been answered. And we need to have a point system. That'll implement these 3. And then this last one, we just need to ignore a tell if they sent a tell too soon beforehand. I'm wondering if we should make that an exponential backoff or a fixed number. Exponential backoff would be maybe they'd be timed out initially by 1 second, and if they try to send one within a second, then it becomes 2, and if they still are persistent, they spam more, it's 4, 8, 16, etc. Eventually, they'd be effectively banned. We could have the client also locally echo a warning saying that you sent that too quickly, you're going to get timed out. It's either that or it's a fixed frequency. They could still spam as long as they kept it at one message per second. I'll have to think about it. Maybe we'll see if people abuse it or not. If so, we'll make it exponential backoff. Maybe we should do that one first, since it's relatively easy to do. So let's do that first. So collapse all these tests. We'll just take a test and duplicate it, and we'll call this one 2 tells too quickly. So we need to have it. Tell can only be sent by a user with a nickname. So hold on. Need one of these like this. So we'll have them start out as Bob, and then tell something right away. Right, and okay, so this is register as Bob, and then say something. Say something else without waiting for the cooldown time. Actually, I'm thinking the way we could implement the web app client end of this is we can actually show like a cooldown indicator. We still need the cooldown on the server end in case someone hacks the web client. Say something else without waiting for the cooldown time. So I suppose we want to instrument, or we want to make the concept of time mockable, and we did this before, right? I can't remember where it was. Where was it? It wasn't... Okay, what's sensitive to time? WebSockets, I guess? That have like a mock time? No? Okay, maybe it wasn't WebSocket test. Maybe it was system abstractions test, actually. I can't remember now, though. What if I look for time? Time. Timekeeper, yes. So we in server test we had a mock timekeeper. So how was that? Okay, it was injected as a server mobilization dependency. Maybe we'll pass along the timekeeper to all of the plugins. That'll make it easier. So how do we do that? Timekeeper. Okay, it's already an interface, so that's good. That's good. As I'm like, if we're gonna pass it to a plugin, the plugin is linked separately, so it's got to be careful with that. So I'm looking for, I guess, yeah, it's in web server, right? There's a plugin entry point. Maybe what we'll do is we're already giving the plugin access to the server through an interface. Maybe through that server interface we can ask for the timekeeper. I like that, so where's timekeeper declared? Timekeeper.hpp, okay, great. So we'll simply include timekeeper. Oh, hold on, is the server given a... Okay, it's a shared pointer, great. So it's already what we want. So we just need to add a method here called getTimekeeper. Virtual standard shared pointer to a timekeeper. GetTimekeeper equals 0. This returns the object responsible for tracking web server time. Object responsible for tracking web server time is returned. All right. So I'm just searching for register resource because wherever that's declared, we need to add the next guy, the get timekeeper. So right here, that's overridden. And then here's where we'll implement it. And then we can return impulse depths timekeeper. There we go. So we already have it. So that's easy. And wherever we have a mock server, I'll see that too. I guess we don't have any mock servers. Okay. So this is just build, right? Ah, we do have some mock servers. Mock server. Let me unindent, or what do you say? What's that operation? Outline. Unoutline. So, here's the new required method. Here's where we override it. And then, I don't think anything cares about the timekeeper here, so... we just return a mock timekeeper? I guess we have to make one. How about the mock server is also a mock timekeeper? Well, no. Need a shared pointer to one, right? So let's just make one here. Actually, this is the chat room plugin test. This is actually where I want to make an explicit mock timekeeper, right? Let me just copy it from the other place I had it. Right here. So, fake timekeeper. That's exactly what we want. I'll move it up here. And then we'll just have the mock server has one. It's got to be a shared pointer though. Make shared. Okay. This is the timekeeper provided or used in the tests to track time or to simulate time, or really to simulate the progress of time. Okay, and then we just need to return that. Now back in the test, we can say advance time to 1/2 the, what is it? Tell cooldown interval. So that is server dot get timekeeper. Oh, no, timekeeper. Because we need the implementation interface to advance the time. Plus equals, I guess we'll use this default of 1 second. Advance the time 1/2 second. Say something else. I'll make this explicit, which is half the tell cooldown time. Say something else and expect it to be ignored. I guess we should verify the tell comes back, right? Where's a test where we actually have a tell? Tell from non-lurker, here we go. So this thing. So tell comes back from Bob, it's 42. Actually, we can just build that in to there. Okay. Oh, actually, I'm not going to build it in. Take that back. I will make sure that both of the first two connections see it. Then I'll just repeat, actually this, we'll keep the same message actually. We'll say something else and expect no response. And we don't need these. Actually, I'm gonna keep these around and putting it at the front there. That's probably a better thing, rather than to clear them there. Okay, so this test should fail. Oh, wait a minute. I guess I didn't hit all the mock servers. Oh, okay. This one had a mock server as well, so it needs the same kind of timekeeper. Interesting. Did I not? I didn't put that into a namespace like I should have. Let's fix that, actually. It's dangerous to put local functions, especially for, well, I guess in this case it's okay, because this should only go into, this should only No, this is still dangerous. If we have another test fixture for static content plugins, we might have a collision on names if we don't put our mocks into the anonymous namespace. Each fixture should have its own name, so that doesn't need... In fact, I don't think Google Test will let me put that into an anonymous namespace, but... yeah. This is just a good thing to do so that if we have more than one fixture with a mock timekeeper, they don't collide. Okay. So the server needs to have the timekeeper. And when it requests, if someone requests it, we need to give it back out. There. Okay. So I'm expecting it to fail because we don't have a timeout right now. Yeah. Oh. There's some extra messages in there I did not clear out. Ah, yeah. So Bob's gonna get some extra stuff. Let's just clear out his... Let's just clear out their messages after the join. Like that. Alright. Okay. So yeah, we're not... Bob is not being timed out. His second tell is getting through, both to himself and to the other guy. So... let's implement the timeout. So that'll be in the plugin. So every connection... What is this? Hold on. I see a red thing. Breakpoint. I have some old breakpoints. Okay, so every connection is gonna have like a record of the last tell. So that'll be in user, right? So double last tell. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to initialize it to be numeric limits double min, so that they can send a tell immediately and it won't... it'll be cooled down by default. So for numeric limits we need limits. Numeric limits, okay, this is the time that the user last sent a tell. This is the time according to the server's timekeeper that the user last sent a tell. Okay. Then when we handle a tell, two things, right? So we need to get the current time. And actually, question, if someone sends a tell, and let's say the cooldown is a second, if at 0.9 seconds they try to say something, are we going to reset it so they have to wait up to 1.9 to say something, or do we just want to ignore it until 1? I'm going to say we'll be optimistic that people won't abuse it, and we won't reset the cooldown. But we want to get the current time. So it has to, all these checks have to pass. Correct? Or do we just right away? We can early reject them if they're a lurker. Yeah, I don't want to reset their cooldown if they said something while they're lurking. I guess it doesn't really matter. How about right here? So we'll say const auto now equals server. We have a... I don't have a server handle? Oh, it's room, right? User entry second dot... Where is the room? Oh, we're in the room. Okay, so... Am I not holding on to a pointer to the server from the room? Yeah, we're a worker thread. I guess not. Okay, so we need to get the server. Here's where is it? Somewhere we get the server. Right here. Okay, we're not holding on to a pointer to the server. We need to, though. Let's do that. So let's store it in the room. So room.server equals server. It's just a pointer, so I don't have to clear it. I guess it's polite to do so, though, right? And then make a copy of this in the room. Room. How about at the top? This is as good a place as any. This points back to the web server hosting the chat room. Alright, so now equals server get timekeeper get current time. Right? And we'll say if now minus user entry a second dot last tell. If that is greater, if that's less than the timeout. So we'll need the room to know what the tell timeout is, right? Then we'll return. Otherwise, I guess what we'll do is down here. If the tell is going to go out, we'll reset the last tell time. Last user entry second dot last tell equals now. So we need this tell timeout. That's part of our configuration. So I'm going to put it near the top. How about right here? Double. Well, default it there, but we'll let it be set from the configuration. This is the amount of time in seconds that a user must wait after sending a tell before they'll be allowed to send their next tell. And let's load it from our configuration up here. Allow tell timeout to be configured. So that's it right there. So auto, actually that can be const. And that other thing up there can be const as well, can't it? Const auto. Tell timeout JSON equals configuration. Tell. Hold on. What does our configuration look like? Is it using camel case or something else? Lowercase, okay. I'll use, what is that? Is that camel case? But only if it is the right type. Floating point. So here we'll say timeout, a tell timeout. 1.0. If it is that, then tell timeout equals the value. Like that. And that's room dot. Let's see, is the compiler gonna like that? Yep, okay. Alright. Good to go. Interesting. I think we failed some other tests. Well, let's fix the two tells too quickly, because I think the other tests are failing just because I'm not advancing the time between tells, so they're timing out. I mean, not timing out, they're not cooled down. Yeah, so it's still not timing. It's not working. I wonder if I have the logic reversed. That looks good. Oh, it's not getting the first tell. Interesting. Okay. Why not? Line 118. Yeah, what's going on here? Let's see. Set breakpoint go. And then put it in tell. Hit go. Alright, now it is 0. The last tell is a very... Oh. It's a very small number. I guess I wanted negative max, didn't I? Yeah, that I wanted the largest negative number. I thought min did that. But that looks like it's just a very small number close to 0. Maybe I'm not understanding this right. Let me look it up. C++, min? How about limit? Numeric limit. Numeric limits. Okay, min. The smallest finite value. I guess I want lowest? I thought I used this before for the largest maximum number. Oh, no, I used it for integers. Okay, for it must mean something different for floats. Let's see. Int min. But for floats, it's double min. Double min. Minimum normalized positive value. Whereas int min is minimum value. Okay, so it's slightly different. I guess what I really want in both cases is not min, but lowest, right? Yeah, lowest will give me negative double max, and int will give me int min. So I want lowest. Let me find where I use this. So it's min. So there, it's lowest. Yeah, I think this although it's the same for an integer value, it should be lowest. Is there like a corresponding highest? No, it's just max. Alright. And then, yeah, here I want lowest. Lowest. And lowest. Yes, okay. It shouldn't affect all the integer ones. I want to be technically correct. So min is the smallest positive for a float. So, but for an integer, it's the largest or the highest magnitude negative number. So I don't like that because the meaning depends on the type. So I will stick with lowest. Let's see if that fixes my test. Cool. Alright, and it didn't break the other tests. That's good. So now we have enforced a cooldown. We've restricted the tell frequency. Should I make sure? I should probably make sure that if he does wait long enough, his tell will get through. Advance the time another half second, which is the cool, which will take Bob's tail off cooldown. Expect it to be sent. So we will reuse expected response is what we'll do. Alright. I'm gonna take another short break soon. Just another minute. I need to get another refill on my tea. Okay, so yeah, let's check that in, and then I'll take a really quick break and come back and implement the rest of the point system, the math stuff. Right. Okay, this is a separate check-in. So this is just chat room. Impose cooldowns on tells. This check-in was just put mocks into anonymous namespace. And we do this to prevent namespace collision between mocks that are made for separate test fixtures but end up being linked together. You can get some really weird bugs where you have two struct mock servers and two different CPP files that are slightly different. The linker won't complain, it'll kind of meld the two structure definitions together, causing really wacky things to happen if they're not exactly the same. Like if you had the order of the parameters different or an extra parameter, I mean a property, you get really weird things. So putting it into an anonymous namespace actually gives it a unique obfuscated name so that they do not collide at the linker level. Alright, so these are all incidental changes from changing... No, this is not. I forgot. This is a extension to the server. So add get timekeeper method to iServer. Those other check-ins are probably the incidental changes going from min to lowest. Just guessing. Yes. It wants me to do garbage collection on the Git repo, so I'll go ahead and let it. Yeah, this is use lowest instead of min. Lowest has a more consistent definition between integer okay. Commit and push and go to system abstractions. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to want that same check-in message. So I'm going to do a get log -1, then go back to system abstractions there, and I'm going to grab this text here and paste it here. Because this changed for the same reason in 3 places. All right. All right. Just checking to make sure everything is checked in, and then I'll take another 1-minute break just to refill my tea. I will be right back. Just a minute. Alright, hopefully that was only a minute or two. I wasn't counting though. So, we just did restricting tell frequency. We had these first three already done, so the only ones left are to actually implement the automatic posting of questions that are math related, and then allow users to collect points. So let's do this in two phases. First, we'll add the concept of points to each user, and then we'll establish the concept of there being a question, an outstanding question. And then we'll, I guess the third step, actually, okay, there's more than two steps, so let's write it out here. Steps for implementing the math questions answers. So first will be add points to users. Next, add concept of current math question. And then add interpretation of tells as answers to the current math question. So adding points to users need to know what points they have. I think what I'll do is I'll build it into the concept of the users, like when you get them all. So we have a message called get nicknames right now. I think what I'll do is, in addition to each nickname, hold on, no, maybe it's a bad idea to combine old and new commands. Yeah, let's add one in parallel. So it's going to be kind of like get nicknames, but it will be returning everything public about every user. We'll call it get users. So kind of like get nicknames, or get available nicknames. That's fine. Only it will be users. Get users. Oh, we need to actually have a user or two. Do we have one where Alice joins? Yeah, okay, so let's steal this. Bob and Alice join the room. And then, I don't know, need some backdoor to give points to one of them. How shall we do that? The room, let's see. We don't have access directly to the room, do we? I want there to be some kind of backdoor the unit test can use to set points. Maybe we make it part of the configuration. Something like this. So actually this will be useful later, maybe, to keep some information about users persistent. So maybe instead of the nicknames being an array, I was going to say, instead of making it an array of strings, it could be an array of objects, and each object could have a nickname and a point. But then I gotta make my available nicknames more complicated. I really just need a backdoor, so how about we just hack in a backdoor? So something like initial points dash Bob. We'll give him 5 points. Or should we make it an array? So it would be something like this. JSON array. Or no, not an array, an object. An object. Indent this sanely. So Bob would have 5 points. Something like that. Oh, how did that happen? Bob has 5 points initially. So we'll just hack this in really quick. So that's in we're gonna do this. The configuration. I guess we need to have a map. Just an initial point map in the room, right? So near available nicknames, I guess. So standard map string to int. Okay. Initial points. This is a. Oh, let's make this more apparent. Note. This is a temporary hack. Or no, that's not a temporary hack. This is a backdoor used by the chat room's unit test framework to make it easier to test a point system. Normally, users will start at 0 points each time they connect. Okay. This is used to assign the initial point score for a user when they join the chat room. Alright. Oh, looks like I had some breakpoints I forgot to clear from before. So down here when we configure, right? Let's do this. Let's do the same thing that we're doing here. Get initial points from configuration, so it's the same kind of thing. Initial points. Initial points. So it has to be an array. No, it's an object. If it's an object, and there was a way to get the keys. Yes, there was a way. So get keys for const auto nickname in initial points to JSON dot key get keys. So const auto points JSON equals initial points to JSON nickname if points JSON dot get type equals JSON type integer, then room dot initial points nickname equals points JSON. I guess I don't really need that check, because if it's not an integer, I think it gets to 0 anyway. So let's just skip that check, and then I can make it collapse together like that. Alrighty. That should work. In fact, we should probably test that separately, shouldn't we? Let's do this. We'll have a smaller test. Bob starts with 5 points. So Actually, hold on, what am I doing? This is built in to get users. It's once Bob and Alice join the room, get the user list and verify point totals are as expected. So we reuse message to get users, and then we get users, and we expect the users to be an object. Like this. Okay, so it's going to be sorted, right? So Alice will come first with 0 points, and then Bob with 5 points. And I can build that in there, can't I? Like that. Alright. So that test is going to fail because we're doing test-driven development. We write the test first, then we add the feature to make the test pass. So I'm going to be streaming for another half an hour or so, just to let you guys know. In about half an hour, we'll be hosting someone else. So let's see. Oh, okay, I forgot to clear the messages first. I mean, what I expect right now until we implement the feature is that we don't get a response from that get users message because, yeah, see, there's no response because that message type doesn't exist. So let's go implement it. That's in receive message. And here we're going to add our new message type. So it's called get users. And just like before, we're just going to make a new function. And I'll just copy from a previous one. Actually, let's copy from get nicknames, since it's essentially going to be the same, only it's like a new version of it. Get users. So it'll be users, and then there'll be a user set. Oh, you know what, we didn't need to be this complicated anyway. It's not really a set, is it? We don't need to build this set. We can make it JSON directly. JSON, users JSON. Let's use the new... Yeah, let's use the new syntax. So that's auto users JSON equals JSON object. Actually, we can even collapse this. This is response. I can just put it in here. Users JSON object. Then eliminate that part. So right, it's only going to apply if they're not a lurker. So if they're not a lurker, then... Oh, this is not going to be sorted, is it? It's... I mean, not sorted by name. It's going to be sorted by the order in which they join. So that means Bob is going to come first. Oh, unless... Did I have JSON object sort the keys? I think I did. So it will resort them each time. Yeah, okay, so... what did it not like about that? Oh, I forgot a bracket. A brace. Okay. Alright, so it'll be response, users, and then user.second.nickname, and then equals... Oh, wait a minute. I don't have the assignment working like that. I have to do a set. User.second.points. We haven't added points, but we'll add it right now. And then We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. We're done. So we just need to have this points thing. Let's add it at the bottom. Int points. This is... hold on. This is the number of points the user has collected. It's sort of self-describing, which I don't like. Or it's recursive, right? I don't want to use the word points when I'm just defining what points means. How about we'll say this is the user's current score. Well, score doesn't need to be quoted, does it? This is still giving me problems. Oh, is the index returns a value? Or const value? It does. I thought I made one where it returns a reference. How do I find that? Operator bracket. Oh. I don't have one that returns a non-const reference. I should probably add that. But, okay, so we don't have that yet. So I guess what that means is we want to keep this separate at first. Auto users equals this, or users JSON, so we don't conflict in the name. And we'll have to add it at the end. Response dot set users JSON. And this will just be users JSON. Yeah, I'll have to fix this later, but I need to make a non-const index operator that returns a reference. A mutable reference. Okay. This will work for now, though. Oh, hold on. I wanted to change this a little bit. I don't want to just return the points. I want to return, like, a record for each user. So another level of indentation here. You know what? I guess we can combine these two. That makes it a little bit easier to read. This is extra. I don't need that. Because we'll have more things potentially, but right now we'll have points. And Bob has... okay, Alice has 0. Bob has 5, right? Okay, what did I do wrong here? Oh, this is extra. Nope. What else? It's like I'm missing a parentheses or something. Oh, that's right. These need to be... yeah, I guess those do need to be indented. Okay. It's like I'm doing twice as much indentation as I need to do, though. Maybe I will collapse that, so it kind of will look like this with an extra bracket. I guess that's okay. So, or an extra brace, really. I don't want to get too crazy with the collapsing, but that's fine, I guess. Did I mess it up? It still doesn't like it. I'm missing a bracket somewhere. I'm looking. Oh. That one. No? Still doesn't like it. Okay. This is why it needed to get a little careful about these collapsing of indentations. Oh, it's these colons, I think. Yeah, that was it. Oh gosh, okay. So we're not going to just set points. It's going to we're going to make another object. Auto user JSON. Actually, I guess we could construct it in place, right? So constructing it in place, points is that. Okay. So yeah, Bob didn't get his initial 5 points because I forgot to put that code in there. So let's do that. So chatroom plugin here. So when they join, add user, I think. Yeah, I'll just do it. No, it's not. It's not when add user. It's when they set their nickname. Yeah, it's this join thing here. Right when we set their nickname, we'll set their points. Points equals initial points. New nickname. This will actually add an entry to the map if it wasn't already there with a default of 0, which is fine, I think. Actually, a way to guarantee that that's working the way I expect is when I set initial points. Yeah, so it's not listing Alice. Alice should end up with 0 because of the default behavior of that insert, or that indexing. And there we go. So we added the concept of points. Chat room. Give add concept of user points. 15 minutes. What can I do in 15 minutes? I don't think I'll get the whole math question posting. Maybe I'll just put something in there which is very simplistic. So instead of, I'm thinking like it has to activate at random times. So something like our worker thread does. But until then, let's just have an initial question, which is, of course, it's got to be the question of what is it? What is 5? What's the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe question? Anyway, the answer is 42. So we'll have an initial answer 42, and it'll be the first one to say it scores a point. Oh, what happened? I lost my place. Okay, there we are. So we'll do the initial answer. How will we structure this? Probably like get users, only it will be okay, we'll call this, let's break it up into pieces. So the first one will be first answer scores. Bob and Alice join the room. Then Bob answers the current question. I guess we could also hack this in to the chat room, right? No, I'm just going to hard code it for now. We'll change this later. So it will be copy something like this. Only 0 is Bob. It will be tell. The tell will be 42, right? And then we'll have Alice answers the current question, but a little too late. Sorry, Alice. Get the user list and verify. Okay. Expect both tells, but only Bob awarded a point. So it will be this stuff. And let's clear the messages right after they joined, but before they start answering questions. So we're going to expect a tell sender Bob. And the tell is 42, right? And then right after that, we'll expect the type of award. And what's the adjective? Awardee. Bob. Points 1. New point total. I'll just call this award, and they'll call this one points. So he'll go from 5 points to 6. And then we'll expect a tell from Alice of the same answer, but no point award. And then we'll get these or expect the point tells us. So we'll expect Bob goes up to 6. Sound good? Okay, so we're now the tells happen, but there's no award given to Bob. And actually, let me turn this into an expect, because I also want to see that Bob didn't actually, his point total didn't change. Right, so he's still at 5 points. He didn't get the award. So, let's implement the system. Just naively, we'll just have an answer. This is the answer to the current math question. Int answer 42. And so that Alice doesn't get awarded also, we need to have a Boolean. Answered. This indicates whether or not a user has sent a tell with the correct answer to the current math question. I should probably say this is the correct answer. Answered correctly. Okay, so what we're going to do in tell is some additional work here, right? After we send the tell, now we will see if the tell equals printing the answer. Maybe I should actually make the answer a string to make it a little bit easier. Then the answer doesn't have to be an integer always. It can just be an integer for right now. So if the tell equals the answer, actually, and also if not answered correctly. So these two conditions, right? Then we got to award the person a point. So user entry second dot points plus plus. And then we're gonna send this response to everybody. I should probably make this thing its own function called like send to all. Let's do that. So it's going to be a helper up here somewhere. Yeah, right here is good. So void send to all. I'll fill in the arguments in a second. It's fix this indentation here. Okay, there's a response, so that's JSON response, and that can be const. Okay, this function sends the given response to all users. This is the response to send to all users. Okay. So whenever we have send text, we can replace that now. Okay, let's make a second one that takes an encoding. We'll use the first one here though. Send all response. Same thing here. And yeah, see, there's lots of places where we're finding it useful, aren't we? Okay. Okay, so for there we want a special one. Like this, send to all, and then we'll make it a string. Response encoding. This is the JSON encoding of the response to send to all users. Well, actually, we'll just say it's the response. Because that's if we want to send a non-JSON thing, right? So it just get rid of response encoding, just call it response. And then here we can collapse this. We can just say send to all response to encoding. Now we can just say here send to all response encoding. Cool. Okay, so back to tell, because I copied this, but we're not going to send a tell. We're going to send an award. What did I call it? Awardee is the nickname. User entry second nickname. And then award is 1. And then points is user entry second dot points. All right. Oh, one more thing. We need to say that it's been awarded or answered correctly, right? So that Alice doesn't get a point. Okay, didn't quite work. Oh, that's funny. I think I used 42 as an answer before, and so Alice is getting awarded points. Okay. So what's going on here? Neither one is getting the award. Oh, I think I know why. We did not reset award answered correctly. Right here. Back. It's near next session ID. So here, I guess. Yeah, right now you can only answer it once and then you're done for the whole chat room. So we'll fix that when we have like new questions asked and then new awards given, right? So what's happening? So Bob says 42. Bob gets awarded a point. Then Alice sends 42. Why is that? Oh. It's being sent back as a string. Oh no, we're expecting a string. Okay, so that's a test bug. Yeah, so this should be that. Yeah, okay. That's probably what that was. What's going on here? Oh yeah, we're getting things awarded because of 42. So, let's fix that. Let's just change the other 42s that are being sent out to, I don't know, 142. I don't want them to get accidentally awarded something. Actually, I'm going to build into this. I'm going to have the lurker answer first. Or let's say lurker tries to answer the current question. They should get ignored even though it's the correct answer. Move this up to here, and it's 2 is the lurker. That should be ignored. Bob should get the answer and the award. I mean, Bob should get the point for it. Cool. All right, so we added the point awarding system. Chat room, add point awarding system for answering math questions. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up very soon. The only thing that's left to do, which I'll probably get back to tomorrow, is coming up with the math questions and posting them to the room. This last point here. So let me put that in the note. Let's see, what do we want to say? Still need to do this one. But we did the rest of these. So yeah, from the top, if you weren't at the start of my stream today, I went over some announcements. One is that I have a new section of my notebook titled Research, where I kind of go through the things that I'm looking up in order to learn what I need to do the next step of my project. And as I complete them, 2 things, I'll check it off the list, and I'll also have a page of notes. So if you're interested in learning some of this stuff too, like setting up Amazon Web Services or looking through transport layer security, and you're interested to see what I've learned, you can check through my notes. And the other announcement I had is I was trying out a compressor filter, so no one actually came in chat that I noticed. Oh, I missed a whole lot of chat. How come I wasn't hearing? Oh, I know why. I did not have my sound on. I'm sorry. I missed Ubi and World Sender. And Nadzern. I missed them. Sorry about that, guys. Shoot. I need to make a note about that. So, back to my notes. I had my sound off, so didn't hear my little chirp when people posted chat. Sorry. I need to remember to double check that each time. Yeah, so I had turned on the compressor filter, and no one actually said that it sounded weird, so I guess I'll keep it on. So those are the 2 announcements. So I spent most of the time in this stream redesigning the chat room so that it could be something that's, quote, safe, because I'm getting ready to put this on the internet so that my viewers can interact with it, and eventually it's going to turn into a chatbot. And my idea was, instead of making it an open-ended chat where you could type naughty words and get me in trouble, I'm going to turn it into a math contest where you can only chat numbers, and you basically wait for the room to post a question at a random time, and then the first person to chat the correct answer scores a point, and it's all for fun and games, so no actual reward other than bragging rights. But maybe if this turns into a bot for my Twitch channel, maybe you'll earn something there. I don't know. So we got through most of the redesign of the chat room. Instead of the users picking a nickname, they now select it from a pool and remove passwords. Basically, the first one to grab a nickname owns it until they disconnect. Chats can only be numbers right now, otherwise it's ignored. And the first person to chat the correct answer scores a point. Oh, we didn't do this one. Forgot about that. Incorrect answers lose a point. Forgot about that one. And we're restricting tell frequencies so you can't spam anymore. So there's like a 1 second cooldown right now by default. So yeah, when I come back to this tomorrow, probably we'll be actually having math questions generated at random, and we'll be penalizing people for answering incorrectly. And hopefully, I'll see what I can do, but I'll try to get this up on the internet through AWS so that people can actually play around with it as it goes live. We'll see. So yeah, again, sorry that I did not see chat while I was going. My apologies. And anyway, other than that, I hope that you enjoyed the stream. We'll be getting back to this tomorrow. And until then, let's see who we might be able to host here. Well, I see Adam's still going, so maybe we'll host us over to Adam. Adam135331, he's working on a game called Botland in JavaScript. And it's pretty cool. I've been learning a lot from him, so we'll go host him. Since I don't see any other programmer streams that I really know yet. I'm still getting to know the people on Twitch who do programming. So yeah, we'll go host Adam and see you again tomorrow. Thanks, guys.